Hello, 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 everyone. What an immense privilege for me to be in this conference this year, although from a distance, but I'm still part of it. I would like to thank you for the invitation. Most of you know me, as I know many of you. My name is Jean-Marie. I'd like to start by extending my greetings and thanks to the church leadership for putting this together. Pastor Gael and his wife, the youth committee, Sister Christy, all of you guys, great job. Should I not pay a great respect to Coach Mark, which is my personal coach, guys, if you didn't know, for being instrumental in what we are doing in St. Petersburg. Let me say this, and I truly believe it. I sense that God is about to raise up a new generation of young leaders in St. Pete, and he wants to use this church, Sanctification Haitian Baptist Church, to do that. What a privilege to be found by God for this great goal, which is to impact the world. But God has to start somewhere. Let's say that I love the team. I do love the theme. It is captivating, empowered to lead. I want to do two things in a short amount of time allotted to me. First, I'd like to briefly touch on why you need empowerment. And secondly, I'd like to scratch what it means to be empowered to lead. In all honesty, among other things, I think that being empowered or an empowered life begins with Christ. It is sustained by Christ, and it is designed to proclaim Christ. This is very important. If you forget everything that I will say today, please remember this. Let me repeat it. An empowered life begins with Christ, it is sustained by Christ, and it is designed to proclaim Christ. I need an amen there. Now, guys, if you didn't know, let me just tell you, this world, as crazy as it is, needs you much more than you could ever imagine. I don't know if you are interested in statistics as I am. Statistics show that the suicide rate in the United States continues to rise. People kill themselves. You may be wondering why and who does that. Well, let me tell you, it's not the less powerful people. It's not the less famous people. It's not the less wealthy people. All three categories are committing suicide on a regular basis. Now, you may be thinking, why is that happening? Someone who is famous, someone who is wealthy, someone who is powerful politically, but they commit suicide. They lack something. And this something we have. This is very important. So therefore, brothers and sisters, we need to be empowered so we can lead, which is what your church has put together for you all, teens and young adults. There are two choices. It's either you are leading or you are being led. That's one or the other. Now, which one would you opt for? Well, if you didn't know, let me say it. It is your choice to not be leading, but to be led. However, the truth is, if you are a child of God, if you are a disciple of Jesus Christ, the call of God over your life is to lead, not to be led. Amen. This is true. And it's all over the Bible. Once we understand our mission, it becomes clear to us what I just said. And I'd like you to think about it, guys. The creator of the universe, this beautiful, complex, and fine-tuned universe, what I just said is very complicated. But that's to say how big, how great God is, how mighty God is. In the Hebrew Bible, they call him Yahweh. That's how he revealed himself in Exodus chapter 3. He said, I am who I am. The Hebrew would say, Asher, Ayeh, Asher. I'm sorry, Ayeh, Asher, Ayeh. This is how they say it in Hebrew. I am who I am, the one who exists by himself. The one who is. This is the best way to translate it. So this God called you to be in ministry for him, to join him on a mission in redeeming humanity. It is such an indescribable privilege, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Now, in a few words, let me share with you what this ministry is about. It is called many ways in the Bible. It's called the Ministry of Reconciliation, the Great Commission, the Ministry of Making Disciples, and a number of passages in the New Testament bears this command. Let me highlight just one of them. The most common one is Matthew chapter 28, verse 19 and 20. You can read it later. For the sake of time, this text is about the entire chapter is about the resurrection of Jesus Christ. After Jesus Christ was resurrected, he had appointed the disciple to meet him on a mountain where he commissioned them to go to all the nations and to do something. Do you know what that was? He commissioned them to make disciples. In Greek, they say, "Mathithusate pontataiphne," to go to all the nations and to make disciples, or to make disciples throughout the nations. This is really, really important. And in a few words, ladies and gentlemen, it is our task as disciple of Jesus Christ to proclaim the gospel. To proclaim the gospel. The gospel is the means by which God will be reconciled with humankind, with his creature. And it's our responsibility to bring it to the world so they can be reconciled with God. The Greek calls the gospel euangelion. This is the Greek word for it, euangelion. So we need to go share this message, which is the euangelion. In Romans 1 verse 16, Paul was defining the gospel in a way, and he said, I am not ashamed of the gospel. Listen to me. It is the power of God for salvation to everyone who has faith, whether it's Greek or pagans, Gentiles, it doesn't matter. Salvation to everyone who expresses faith in the message. And the reason is because the message is Christ-centered through his death predicted by the prophets and his resurrection, which is the key elements that we focus on when we are proclaiming the gospel. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, young people, it is important for us to know that God empowers us so we can impact others. Very important. Now, I just told you what it is. My question to you is, are you willing to join God on this mission? And listen to me. It is, once again, your choice to do that or not to do it. I'm sorry. And you only have these two choices. Why? Because God created you with free will. God created you with free will. There is no neutral ground in the universe. It's either you say yes to God or you say no to God. There's no neutral ground. That does not exist. Let me just recap because it's very important. First, you guys, we need empowerment. You need empowerment because you are called to lead.